Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good day. Good morning. And hello to all of you, wherever you may be. This is Rena Canady Laster with All Things Lifestyle coming to you today. Happy to be here and happy to be able to come before you today again. Another week, another blessed week, another week that the Lord has allowed us to enjoy His blessings, His earth. And we've had some good things happening. We had a family reunion and we had some memories being made. But I want to talk to you about those things. But first, I want to talk to you about the fact that school will be starting. Now, I'm not sure when schools may start where you are, but schools will start for our children on Monday in the county where I live and in the surrounding counties. Children will be going back to school. Now, on last week, I talked about the fact that a lot of parents are concerned about going back to school. They're concerned about the safety of their children. They're concerned about all of the things going on in the world today and how they impact our children. So parents are anxious. Parents are, some of them are actually afraid because of how things are playing out in the world today. Now, I want to say to you that all of it, and that's what we talked about last week. We talked about the fact that creating a safe environment and a environment of safety, a mindset of safety, starts in the home. And we talked about a lot of the things that you could do to create a safe environment in your home so that the child will feel safe and secure when he's out in the world. There are only so many things that we can do that are in our control when it comes to the acts of others, because basically we can only control our own actions and control ourselves. We can't control the things that a lot of people are doing today, but there are some precautions that we can take. There are some things that we can teach our children in terms of safety and being aware of their environment, being aware of who they're around, choosing their acquaintances, choosing their people that they choose to hang out with, where they go, being obedient in terms of whether they're in place and doing the things that we were told that they're doing anyway. You know, we don't want them some one place and we're thinking they're someplace else. Just so many things. But then there are things and factors that are in our purview that we just actually don't have control over. We can't control the mental health of someone else if those things are not being taken care of, if that person is not going to treatment, or if their family is ignoring symptoms and signs. We can't control that. We can't control whether or not there's going to be an accident if we have done everything that we can do to ensure our safety. So it's just so much that it is just of concern to us today. Now, one of the things I do want to say to us and to all of the parents is that you are your child's best advocate. So you are the one who's going to advocate for your child. You're going to be the one who's going to advocate for your child's safety. You're going to be the one who is going to speak up and do as much as possible to ensure that some things are in place that will ease your mind, as well as ease the mind of even the school officials. So, one of the things that I would have you do is to make sure that you establish a relationship with your child's teacher so that your child will know that you and their teacher talk, that you communicate, and if they know that, then they know that also they can be able to come to you with things that probably need to be communicated to the teacher if there are things that they're concerned about, if their safety is their concern, if they're being bullied, whatever Communicate with the child's teacher and let your child know that you communicate so that the child will feel safe when you say, come to me so that I can talk to your teacher or I can talk to the principal or whatever. And don't let the child see you in an adversarial role with their teacher. If there are some things that you are concerned about with your teacher, then your child does not have to be privy to that. Handle those things as an adult, not involving the child, so that the child will not say, oh, my mama's going to come beat you up. My mama's going to do this. My mama's going to do that. No, we want the child to see you as an advocate who is able to communicate and talk and get things worked out on their behalf. The other thing I would say to you as a parent is to initially in the very beginning of the year. Find out what some of the school policies and procedures are about some of the things that concern you. You know, what are the policies and procedures when it comes to bullying? What are some of the policies and procedures when it comes to your child having a concern about something? Can they talk to the teacher? What does the school say? Does the school say that it's going to be something that is going to be of concern to the principal? What's the chain of command about certain things, and how does that work? We need to know those things ahead of time and before there's a problem, because a lot of times when there's a problem, then you might not be thinking as clearly as you'd like to, because you're concerned, you're upset, you're worried about your child. And so you want those things to be handled in a clear, orderly fashion, if at all possible. So find out ahead of time, what are your policies and procedures about bullying? What are the policies and procedures when it comes to safety? When it comes to my child's safety? What if there's bad weather, if there is a bomb threat, if there is a tornado drill, because here we have tornado drills all the time, and the children have them. What if there are um, local agencies such as the police or the ambulance or whoever? What if they are conducting drills in the neighborhood or in the vicinity? What is the procedure for letting parents know about that so that the parents won't become alarmed? Any and all concerns that you have and that you can think of now when the child is going back to school initially, then these are things that you need to go ahead and try to find out as much information about now before the time comes. Because when an event is happening, it's going to be hard to get answers, the answers that you need. It's going to be hard to find out, because in the midst of an event, people are not going to have the time, because their focus is going to be on handling that situation. So they can't answer your questions then. So let's see, what are the things that you're concerned about? What are the things you want to know about? The dress code, um, anything that your child may get upset about, anything that your child may be concerned about. Um, Find out those things now so that when there's a problem, then you're not trying to find out and you're not trying to get into altercations with adults about those things. So those would be some of the things that I would suggest to you. And I would also suggest that you have a discussion with your children about school, what proper behavior is for them, what you expect from them. I'm sure you've probably talked to them about it, but reiterate what it is that you expect, how you expect for them to behave, what you expect in terms of their study habits and their grades. And then when it comes to studying, make sure you provide an area that is quiet for them to be able to study without distractions, so that they can have the best possible year and be successful. So we want to set our children up for success and not for failure. So start thinking about some of these things now. I would suggest also, because I'm right now into family, because family is very important, and it's one of the only things that really, really matter in the long run, because family is where we originate, family is where we go after we die. Those are the last people who are over you and praying with each other. They're grieving together over someone's loss. So family is very important. So talk about and look at ways that you can make your child have a very successful year. Um, are you going to have dinners together? This may be something that you've never done before, but it may be something that's going to enhance your child's feeling of safety and security in terms of my family is a safe place for me. Are you going to have dinner together? Even if you don't do it every day, how many times a week? Go ahead and talk about it. We're going to eat dinner together every Wednesday or every whatever. And then you can actually do some meal planning together with your child. Begin to think of activities that you could do as a family to bond because you want to create that bond and that safety within the home. And so these are things you want to begin to think about right now. You'll notice going across the screen is my website, allthingscanady.com. You can go to it, find out more information about me. If you will go on and you will to sign up with your email, then you can stay in touch with me. You can talk to me um, via email if you have questions or concerns, allthingscanady.com. You can also follow me on Facebook, follow me on um, Instagram. Follow me on YouTube. You can just type my name in the chat box or type my name into the www search bar on your computer, and it will pull up pretty much anywhere that I am on the World Wide Web. It will pull up books that I've written. It will pull up places I've spoken. You can watch speeches I've done, whatever. If you desire, you can pull those things up. But by and large, I would like for you to be able just to stay in touch with me because I'm very concerned about you as a person, and I'm concerned about our youth because I want all of us to be the best that we can be and to be the person that God created us to be, have the kinds of families that God intended for us to have, and this is how we're going to do that. Now, let me segue into family reunions and talk just a little bit about that. My guest on next week will be my cousin, Kim Duggar. Um, some of you may know her son, who is a football player for, I think, I can't think of the name of the team now, it escaped me, but Kim's son. Plays football. But the reason I'm saying that is because even with all the things that he does, he's still a part of a family, a thriving family. And the things that he does and the things that he is into all started out as part of being part of a family. And we um, have to have a legacy with our families. So, where is your family legacy? What is it that you are passing on to your children? What is it that you are passing on by the things that you do? Um, my cousin was a speaker. We just had our reunion this past week, and she was the speaker. Now, let me tell you, one of the things that we do, we have a very structured reunion on both sides of my family. But the one that we just had this past weekend, we actually have a meet and greet where we have a day for all of the family members to come together. We just kind of, that first day, see who's going to be there. We greet each other. We kind of, you know, if there's somebody in town that's not there, that you can contact and say, look, y'all, we got reunion. You need to be here tomorrow. You need to be here Sunday, whatever. Then the meet and greet is the first day. Then the second day, we have a banquet that is a very, very, very nice event, very dressed up. This year, it was very nice because we had a red carpet, y'all. We had a red carpet event. And so all of the family members got to walk the red carpet. And that was very good. And it played into the fact that one of the things that families do also is that they build each other up. They are to build each other up and not tear each other down. And so as we walked the red carpet, we are saying that we are special. We are stars. We are somebody. We are of the Canady Lewis Jackson families, and we are somebody. So we walked the red carpet, had a very, very nice banquet dinner. On Sunday, we always go to church together and we worship together. That Sunday morning, that afternoon, we have the family picnic and we have activities and do things together. And then that's Monday, we will have a breakfast together as everyone is parting and everyone is going their separate ways. We pray for the safety of everyone. We pray for safe travels, and we just kind of get together and finalize the weekend. And so on next week, I'm going to have my cousin Kim, who's going to kind of reiterate some of the points that she talked about. She was supposed to be here today, but something came up. And so I'm just going to kind of set the stage for what we're going to talk about on next week. But Kim herself, and we celebrate each other. And so we celebrated Kim as her husband introduced her because, Kim was the star basketball player at Fort Valley State University. She set many, many records while she was there. And her son, Kyle Duggar, is a football player. So many of you may know him as part of the New England Patriots. And um, we celebrate. We celebrate. We have cousins who are attorneys. We have uncles. We have aunts. We have grandparents. Whoever on that side. This is the Canady Lewis Jackson side of the family, and so we celebrate and we talk about all of the accomplishments of the people in our family. We talk about starting with our ancestors, how we came to be. We talk about different things, the family, especially young people, and we talk about the importance of the young people knowing who their elders are. This is very important to me because right now, a lot of the elders are dying. And so I'm just thinking about me and my lineage as far as my age and the people that I knew growing up. A lot of them are no longer here. But the thing also that impacted us and that we thought about at the reunion this year, we've lost a lot of young people. We have lost a lot of young people. And this seems to be something that's going on pretty much in the United States and all over the world now, that there are people are dying younger and younger. And health issues are prevalent, and we need to be concerned about our health. And so, this is something that we also are going to be talking about this year. I will focus on some of these things with my podcast. I'm sure probably that some of the other family members will do the same. My cousin Marcus Early does has a church service online, and we are going to celebrate him next week. We're going to talk about him. We're going to just talk about the things that my cousins and family members have done, because one of the problems right now is that a lot of people don't celebrate each other. People tear each other down instead of building each other up. But our focus in our family is that we build each other up. We don't tear each other down. Sure, we all have our faults. We all have things that we need to work on. But y'all, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And so we are all striving to live this life, to encourage each other, and to build the next generation. So not only are we talking about the generation that's here currently, but we want to also build up, pray for, set the stage for the next generation to come, to let them know that this is the legacy, this is the heritage that you're being born into. So we are going to talk about that on next week. What are some life lessons that family reunions have taught us? What are some of the reasons for having a family reunion? What are some things that family reunions can do to benefit our families? We are going to talk about this. Kim and I will set the stage. So if you would just make a note, set your alarm or whatever you need to do to be able to tune in on next Thursday at 5 p.m. for All Things Lifestyle to watch the episode where we talk about families, family reunion, the importance of it, and to talk about how it has impacted even our lives. Family reunions have definitely impacted my life. You know, I used to be the person who was in charge of the reunion on the postal side of my family. And so, in planning, one of the things that you get to do is you get to find out how hard it is to pull these things off and to pull and keep the family unified because a lot of times it takes effort. People get so busy, they get distracted, they get caught up in the day to day life living things, all of the emergencies, things that call and pull upon us, and we have to take the time and be intentional about keeping our families together. That has to do not only with a reunion, but just families in general. Families, we have to be intentional about because our children are being developed there. We are being nurtured and we're being groomed and we are being taken care of in the family environment. And so this is a very, very important thing. We're going to talk about that next week. So if you would write it down, be able to tune in. I'm sure that Kim, because the family really enjoyed Kim's presentation to us as a reunion, and I would love to share that with you and share the wisdom that she shared and some of the things that even she thinks about reunions. You'll notice scrolling across the screen, it says follow All Things Lifestyle on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and on Roku. We also come on the Roku channel on the Elevation TV network. So if you will download or go to all of the streaming channels on your Roku, download the Elevation TV network, and you can catch all of the replays of shows that I've done, along with many other good hosts who have been on and who have had pretty much shows that have a lot of information that you will find helpful, entertaining, and useful. One of the ones I'd love for you to go back and watch is one with Chef Elizabeth, who's my daughter. um, she loves to cook, and this is like heritage, what I'm talking about. She loves to cook. So I've done a couple of shows with her cooking and demonstrating how to make different recipes. And then as she's cooking, we're talking about the importance of nutrition. We're talking about the importance of health. We are talking about how to prepare the dish. And as we go on with the family part, we're going to talk about, in terms of family, we're going to also talk about some family recipes that are passed down through the generations that we are cooking now. I'm thinking about my grandma Hattie. She's on the other side of the family. She's not in the Kennedy Lewis Jackson side. She's on the Postville side. But I can remember that every time we went to her house to go and visit, we always knew what we were going to have. And I don't care how late we got there, she was going to always have us some dinner prepared. And it was usually some very, very buttery, good, scrumptious uh, chicken with some kind of, I think it was like a stewed chicken. I can't remember, but it was good. And with rice because they were Geechee. My other side of the family is Geechee. They are, I guess, from the South Carolina, Lower Georgia region. And so rice, they eat lots and lots and lots of rice. So we pretty much knew that whatever we ate, we were going to have rice with it. We had the chicken, and she always made a pound cake. And so these are some of the things that families will pass on to each other in terms of recipes. And so Liz likes to cook. I don't like so much to cook anymore, but I like to eat, and I will cook. And we will do some things. That's what I like to do. We will cook a dish together. But as far as me just cooking for myself, not so much. So, families. As I'm talking, begin to think about what are the heritages that you want to pass down, the things you want to pass down to your family, the things that your family does that is something that you can pass on to your children and that you will talk about at reunions to come. On my Kennedy Lewis Jackson side, I remember my grandmother. I'm from a descendant of Charlie Kennedy, and we learned and talk more in the history and the family tree. But I know that my dad's father was Charlie Kennedy, who was married to Mamie Kennedy. And so a lot of times when we would go down out, we would go to my grandma's house, and we always knew that she liked to cook Japanese fruit cakes. She would cook them in a Chester drawer, keep them in a Chester drawer with towels wrapped around them and all of that. These were her heritages and her things that she did. Um, her cheese grits, I can remember her cheese eggs. One thing I remember about my grandma Mamie was how she made cheese and eggs. And I haven't seen anybody do that since. But she would always melt the cheese first in the frying pan on low heat. She melted the cheese and then added the eggs and a little milk, but they were really cheesy. And that was one of my memories of her. What are some memories that you have of your elders and people in your family? Begin to think about it because these are things you need to share with your children, pass on some generational knowledge. And I heard something the other day, and I think Kim may have talked about this, but we need to pass on generational wealth. And we're going to talk more about that next week. But we're talking about generational wealth, but that wealth is not necessarily tied to money. We're talking about the wealth of knowledge, the wealth of wisdom, the wealth of family blessings, the wealth of faith, all the different things that can be passed on in your family. Um, Let me pause also and tell you about the Pop Life collection. This is a one of the causes that I'm also promoting for people who are suffering or have suffered with cancer. I have a friend who has a website who has an effort to help with fundraising. Her name is Sharice Parker Anderson. This is an effort for helping to raise funds for people who have cancer to help offset some of the expenses. Because one thing, and she shared this, that she found out when she had her cancer battle and journey, the fact that cancer is a very expensive disease because you oftentimes have to go to treatment many times during the week, sometimes every day of the week. And a lot of times they're out of town, they're not in your city or in your town. And so gas is expensive, hotels are expensive, all of the things that go into play. And this is aside from the medical costs, are very expensive. And so this is a way for her to help to offset that. So what she does is that she will have a T-shirt. And if you'll go back to a previous show, pull it up, Sharice Parker Anderson, we talked about it. So I'm not going to go and reiterate all of it today, but you can donate and have a T-shirt to support the person who has cancer. And a portion of each shirt goes to that person to help with their expenses. And so this is a way that you can help. There's also she has a page set up for me for all things lifestyle so that it can help offset the broadcast here every week and to help to also feed into the programs and the support efforts that I have, the things that are near and dear to my heart, the cancer things, the things working with children. I have a backpack ministry. I have a ministry where I donate to family and children's services for children to be able to have a bag when they are placed in care. And so there's also a page where you can support me. So looks like we're out of time for this week, but you've been listening to Life Styles, All Things Lifestyle, with Rena Canady Laster, where we talk about how your lifestyle matters. Everything that you do matters. Your lifestyle ministers, your lifestyle speaks. And I want my lifestyle to speak. I want everything that I do to be a blessing to the kingdom of God and to be a blessing to you and to help you to be the best person that you can be. So join us next week, next Thursday at 5 p.m. on the Elevation TV network, where Kim Duggar, my cousin, will be my guest, and we will be talking about the importance of family reunions and the life lessons that they leave for the young and the old. So be sure and tune in. And until then, you be blessed, stay safe, and do all the things that you can to perpetuate love within your family because it's very important. Hug, kiss, love those in your family. Tell them you love them because life is short and you don't ever know when it may be your last time. So until next week, be blessed. Take care.